Fjordur. Fjordur, Ark's last DLC before Ark 2 releases in 2030. I have 100 days to beat this cold and magical map, or just not die. Day 1, I spawned in Vanillin South because it says it's easy and I have very little experience with this new map. I then collected fiber, stone, thatch, and wood, all for 1 stone pickaxe just to quickly use it to kill my first victim for a measly 29 hide. But not to worry, as I crafted spears and then ended the life of 3 more copies. Okay. This could be. What? It looks like I'm not taming that Equus just yet. So in the meantime, I crafted more spears, clothes, and a campfire because if you haven't noticed, it's cold in Fjordur. The nights dip into freezing temperatures and the days are just cold enough to keep your food constantly draining. But by the evening, I reached level 10 by crafting foundations to level up, and you know what that means. Yes. When night fell, I sat next to my 2 campfires that were cooking meat and did nothing, so I would freeze to death if I moved 2 feet from them. When it was finally warm enough on day 2, I grabbed my cooked meat and pieced out to find a more permanent base location. That is so beautiful. I was enjoying the ride on the beach when I spotted a shipwreck. There are crates and barrels you can harvest from the shipwreck. The crates give tools and the barrels give either scrap metal or cooked meat. No! So if you didn't get it from the epic montage, I'm building right here. At least, I think. I don't know, this map is cool, but it doesn't really help you to, you know,
tell where you're at.
I was up and at 'em early on day 3. I had 3 campfires going to cook me food and keep me warm while I started on my house. By morning, I had the foundation laid. Then I added a door, walls, railing, storage boxes, a preserving bin. I'm basically turning into an HGTV show at this point. But anyways, I got my first 2 refining forges down and had to venture out a little bit to mine river rocks for metal because I couldn't find any nearby metal nodes. Then with the metal ingots, I placed my smithy and started farming the last few structures to finish the roof of my house. Now that my house is finished, I found a little village that had tons of barrels lying around. So obviously, I brought out my inner imperialist and took all that the non-existent villagers had to offer, specifically the scrap metal. Man.
Why you bullying me?
Does it work? I'm just like tickling him. Okay. Day 4 started off strong with me crafting a full set of flak armor. I also looked out over the valley as the sun rose. Wait. What the? Huh, that's weird. It looks like I got teleported into Age of Origins. Age of Origins is a tower defense strategy mobile game. In Age of Origins, you are a commander who just took over a city that sits in a hostile world, where you can develop new technology, expand the city, and you have to fight off zombies. You can do that in the tower defense mode at the entrance of your city. But it's not just you fighting alone. You can recruit officers to help you fight, and if you can, charm Lucy into helping you fight the zombies with her biochemical zombie. But if you want the real powerhouses, you can get Genshin and Empress. These titans are lethal against the undead and your enemies. But that's not all to it. You can play mini games like giant cannon defense and tower defense if you rather electrocute zombies to death. But if you ask me, I would rather blow them up. And if you're tired of fighting zombies, fight other players and watch it all go down on the world map with other crises along with it. So head down to the link in the description and download Age of Origins and receive an exclusive pack worth $60. So once again, head down to the link in the description and download Age of Origins to receive an exclusive pack worth $60. But now that I had some decent armor and tools, I wanted to turn my attention towards metal because you need it for literally everything in this game. So I decided to go on a nomadic journey looking for a metal node, even though my horse probably can't even hold a stack of it. Oh my. What's going on here? Woohoo! 140. Hello. So, how do you tame these things?
Honey.
But finally, I found metal and made the slow trek back across the valley. But instead of wanting to put my hard-earned resources into something useful, I set my sights on the Viking Forge. The Viking Forge is the one mod that I had installed that just makes skins for your tools and armor. You gotta pay metal for a skin? Oh my god, it looks at you. Well, it's safe to say I'm never using that again, but I did invest in some armor and weapon skins. Day 5 started with a long neck BP. I will probably never craft and more metal farming with my horse elk. And when I returned home, I added a bed to my house because it really helps make this house a home. And I'm about to go do something that's probably gonna get me killed. And what is that, you may ask? Well, that would be taming an Andrewsarchus. Yes! Oh my god, it's a beast! I then came across another level 140 Andrewsarchus, which I also tamed, and now I had two named Drax and Raz. I then started making my way back to my base when I noticed an oil vein, but you can't unlock oil rigs. But there's an oil vein. Or is it just a rock? Oh, it's an oil vein. Don't worry, they fixed this in a later update. And to finish the day off, I did some wildlife population control because I needed hide. Day 6, I put the hide I farmed to use by farming wood and fiber to create spike walls. These would help keep my base safe as I'm currently incapable of fighting the average threat. And also, I tamed 3 Dilos. I don't know when, but I did. And I named them Ding, Dang, and J-Slat. Then farmed some metal, crafted a long neck, killed some stuff, and then crafted Raz a saddle. God, that looks so cool. But moving on, it's only day 6, and I'm already tired of living in this tiny crap shack I built, so let's build some hexagons. But what are these for? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I tamed a level 50 stego that wandered into my base area. Well, you didn't have to wait that long because I'm building a castle. Come on, it's literally illegal to play Fjordur and not live in one. So I just spent the rest of the day placing the behemoth gate I made and laying the foundations of where the pillars would be. Day 8, things got interesting because I fell off the cliff not once, but twice. My Andrewsarchus was having some weird glitch where it can only move in a straight line, but it fixed itself with a simple relog. But day 8 wasn't all bad because I got my grubby little hands on a level 140 Deinonychus egg. Deinonychus grow up super quick, so I only managed to farm some narcotics when she was basically grown up. I then explored a cave that is in the back of the fort below my base and found some silica pearls. So yeah, these runestones reminded me that Fjordur is not a normal map, and there's actually 3 realms I need to explore. So I looked up the Bifrost location on YouTube because there is no way I'm looking for that myself, and I went to Asgard. The only thing I found interesting there was some beaver dams. But since Asgard was kind of a bust, I decided to start progressing again, and for some reason I decided I needed poly to progress. I don't know why, but I sailed over to the southwest part of the map and lowered the local parakeet population. And once I had my poly, I sailed back and only had a minor inconvenience getting back to my...
Oh.
Yeah, so priorities quickly shifted and I knocked out and tamed level 135 RG. What? Day 10 I actually remembered a use for the polymer I farmed, which was cryopods. But the problem was I didn't have any oil, and the only place I knew where oil was there. So I began flying across the map when I spotted level 135 Ankleo, and you just simply cannot pass up on that. I managed to craft 11 cryopods and flew back across the map to grab my newly tamed Anki before the day was over. Day 11 was a very productive day as I farmed narcotics, metal, crystal, and I even went back to Asgard to tame a Dodex because I'm gonna need a lot of stone for my castle walls. Well, day 12 is interesting because I don't have it. You can literally look in my recording folder and it's not there. I genuinely do not know what happened to it. And there's also something else interesting that happened on day 13. Bruh. I've been recording a black screen. I hate my life. Okay, so I can't really remember what happened on day 12 and half of day 13, but I'm pretty sure I only built this outdoor crafting station and farmed. But anyways, I crafted polymer and then a chainsaw. And I then farmed stone, thatch, and I'm just now realizing I got this insane shotgun on day 12. Day 14 and 15, I started building onto my castle's walls, and it looked a little like this. Day 16, I went out on my Deinonychus to look for Rex because you can shoot tranks off their backs. But I was not having much luck, so I ended up actually sailing over to the lava island, but I didn't find anything there either. But I guess I did find some Mechalania that I killed for their toxin. Back on the mainland, I spotted a level 140 griffin that I was nowhere near prepared enough to tame. So I raced back to base and crafted all the stuff I would need to tame it. Well, day 17 and taming a griffin went about as well as it usually does.
Try it! Oh yeah! You picked the wrong house, fool!
Homie.
Gotcha!
Homie.
First drop. Oh my god. Oh, but luckily the griffin went to sleep with enough beatings from a club. Oh, it actually worked. It actually worked. So griffins take a while to tame, so I decided to look on Dotadex if there's any names I like.
I like that one.
Perfect. Oh, it's actually not that bad. Day 18, me and Swoop Dog flew out to the Swamp Island just because I hadn't explored it yet. I actually saw a really good Spino there and a castle, but that's about it for now. But returning home, I got a good Ankylo saddle and a good Chitin Gauntlet blueprint. Well, when I got back to my base, I actually farmed some chitin to make the gauntlets, and then I spent the rest of the day farming back a ton of taming equipment because I just spent every last drop of it taming the griffin. Day 19, and hey, guess what? I'm back at the Swamp Island to tame that Spino. So I quickly constructed the biggest trap known to man, and you already know what happens next. What the? Well, I managed to knock the Spino out, but honestly, I'm still speechless to what happened next. What the? Oh, what is this? This was a mistake.
Okay, bend over.
This was a mistake. Quit picking me off. I tamed it? So yeah, anyways, I managed to get back there with my griffin and get my stuff back along with my new Spino and Desmodus. And when I got back to my base, I made the Desmodus saddle because I wanted to test it out. Oh, ugly. So I spent the rest of the day just flying around testing out the Desmodus, and I think it's a really good dino, but I don't think it should be allowed to fly in caves, but that doesn't mean I won't use it later. The morning of day 20 was spent at the Swamp Island looking for better level Desmodus, but there wasn't any, so I kind of just pieced out. And the rest of the day I just spent farming metal and crystal because I wanted that industrial forge. For the industrial forge you need oil, so I looked up a YouTube video and apparently there's oil rocks at the volcano island, but there's also this bubbling oil liquid that I am not a fan of. Ew. That sounds so gross. But now I have to say bye my base since I play on single player and I have to keep the forges loaded in if I want this industrial forge anytime soon. So I transferred items from my old base to the crafting area, crafted polymer, raided some beaver dams, and farmed some narcotics. Day 22 I started with crafting bullets, arrows, bolas, and all you could ever want to tame a Rex. So yeah, I wanted to start my Rex army, and luckily I found a level 130 female, and I actually managed to lead it up to the castle that everyone and their mother builds in, so it made it pretty easy to knock out. But right after I knocked it out, I found a better level 140 female, so that was pretty pointless. Well, it's now day 23 and I have both. As I was saying, I have both Rexes tamed, and obviously the level 140 was better. Well, I got back to base and actually made some more taming items because I still needed a male Rex. And I actually had enough resources now, so I made myself my industrial forge. So I spent some time setting it up and transferring my items because that's always a hassle, and then I did a thick metal run. And before the day ended, I placed my new Samsung 36-inch wide, 25 cubic feet, Energy Star rated full-size 4-door flex refrigerator. I decided I wanted to go look for Rexes on my new Desmodus now, and it was a lot better than riding around on my Deinonychus. Oh, we gotta tame that. This looks like a Skyrim cave, like Bleak Falls Barrow. This has to be based off like Falls Barrow or something. What is this? Whoa. That's not menacing. Oh. Oh! Come here, Ugg. Oh, there's an artifact. Ow. This was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. Oh! Ugh! Ugh! So that really sucked, and it just so happened that I had all my good stuff in that cave with me, because I didn't really expect to die. So I had to spend the rest of day 24 regrouping and crafting some caveman gear to retrieve my stuff. Day 25, I originally planned to bring my Spino in the cave to get my stuff, but I figured it'd just get clapped by 2 level 300 bats that it couldn't reach with its tiny arms. So I ended up going with my 2 Andrewsarchus and my Deinonychus, and honestly it worked really well. It took about the whole day, but it wasn't really as cool Mission Impossible type heist thing I thought it was gonna be. It was more just 2 pigs in armor biting oversized bats for 30 minutes. Day 26 started off with a jump scare. What the? But besides that, I wanted a wyvern. So I flew over to the fire wyvern trench on my griffin, which makes it super easy to get eggs. That's what we like to see. Max level fire wyvern egg. Pass. And I ended the day with a metal run. Day 27, I started to expand the crafting pad, or more so just duplicate it right next to the first one. Well, what's this for?
Communism.
No, really it's just where I'm gonna hatch eggs now that I have those wyvern eggs. But instead of using 17.5 air conditioners, I remembered about the little structure called the egg incubator that was added in Genesis 2. I haven't really fully played that map yet, so I always forget about it. But anyways, I needed more electronics, so I flew around the map ending tech dinos and scrapping their bodies. And on the way back, I probably got the most W drop I've received in the past year. Oh my god. Oh my god. I got triplets. That's crazy, man. And I named the wyverns Alduin, Parthenax, Dovahkiin, and... The morning of day 28 was primarily spent raising the wyverns and obviously getting a screenshot when they were done. And after that, I took out Dovahkiin, which would be the wyvern I primarily used for the rest of the 100 days, and flamed down everything in sight. Well, after finding a drop I couldn't open, I went into what I thought was the Holy Penguin Shrine cave, but it wasn't, and I got chased out by a dire bear. But just before the end of the day, I found it. I found it. The most holy place in all of Ark.
Praise it.
Day 29, I crafted narcotics and trank darts because I still had some taming to do. I either wanted a male Rex or a Megatherium to fight Bela and the Broodmother, but I found the level 150 female Megatherium, and I am not passing that up. So I made the trap, trapped it, knocked it out, pet my cat Chubby IRL, and boom. Tame. Oh, and I also found another level 145 female Megatherium, and you can't really pass that up either. So you know how this goes. Build trap, knockout, pet cat, boom. Okay, so its health is worse, but its melee is a lot better. So we'll have to breed that into the line. Day 30 now, and I found the level 150 male Megatherium. My luck is insane. So I tamed a giant sloth and headed back to the mainland, and I got insane flak boots from a drop. And when I got back to my base, I threw out the Megatheriums to start breeding because I want to get guaranteed stats on parents ASAP. I then made 2 feeding troughs and my Megatherium babies popped.
Yes.
One was good.
Okay.
One. Day 31 and I crafted a lot of Trank Darts because it's time to find a high level male Rex. And after only like 5 minutes of looking, I found a level 135.
Oh, yes. We need to tame this.
So I built a classic 4-gate bear trap, and I'm just realizing I crafted the long neck I'd said I would never craft. And well, looking back at the recordings, I've had it since day 25, so it's nice to know that I don't even know what I'm doing during these 100 days. Anyways, I tamed the Rex and it actually came out really good. So I went back to base, started breeding the Rexes, farmed more narcotics for whatever reason, and hatched the first Rex egg.
Oh, and the male.
Day 32, I actually started with a flint run for more gunpowder. I then lined up my Rexes against the wall, made another Viking forge to have in my new base, and made skins for my tools.
Ow.
After that, I started farming more resources for my walls that were nowhere near finished, and saw what imprint looked like on my Rexes.
Oh my.
And I finished the day off crafting a Bronto saddle for reasons you can probably tell. Well, if you didn't figure it out, I'm going to tame a Bronto. They're really good for farming berries. So I flew around and chose a level 100 to knock out, and it was all going well until I got jumped trying to feed it.
What the? Who are you?
But anyways, the Bronto lost half of its taming effectiveness, but it doesn't really matter. And then I just did some berry farming and baby raising for the rest of the day.
Oh, you have a mutation. Oh, wait. Oh, he doesn't have the good melee, but he's a male. So we can keep breeding him.
Days 34 through 37 were all spent raising dinos. I raised my whole Rex army and Megatherium army. And I did so many meat runs, I think I permanently lowered the local Bronto population. Day 38 was almost the same, but halfway through the day I went to a castle cave thing on the north side of the map. There wasn't much in there besides metal
Hard
boxes that give
polymer.
hard polymer, which is always nice, but the main thing, this cave looked awesome. And when I returned back to my base, I made a buttload of Rex saddles and killed an Alpha Raptor for runestone. Day 39, I took down Alpha after Alpha, including an Alpha Rex for the runestones they drop. But after that, I did a big metal run because you can't really ever have enough. I then cryoed up 8 of my most powerful Rexes and brought them to an unassuming cave just north of the cave that I died in around 10 days prior.
Okay. I don't really know where this thing's gonna spawn. Oh, right there. That was easy. Doesn't it? It drops loot, right? Oh, element. It's kind of add loot.
Day 40, and obviously you could see I didn't use Megatheriums for the fight like I said I would. That's because I realized my Rexes were a lot stronger than the Megatheriums, but maybe the bug buff will level them out? I don't really know. But anyways, I returned back to my base, threw out my Rexes so that they could heal, and went back to killing tech dinos with their electronics. I did this because I want another egg incubator, because I'm gonna power level my Rexes by killing baby Rexes.
You need to leave!
It sounds horrible, but trust me, it's really efficient. And I've been passively gathering fertilized eggs my Rexes have dropped for the past few days now, so it's basically just free XP at this point. But instead of doing that right now, I decided to try and take down 2 level 100 plus Alpha Raptors at once. FYI, don't do this because it takes forever because they're alpha boosting each other. Oh, and also I tamed a Lystra at the end of the day and named him Cody. The vast majority of day 41 was actually spent leveling my Rexes, and boy were they getting insane with all these levels. And then I spent some time flying around looking for a Rex saddle blueprint, but I didn't find any. And I didn't didn't know the caves that were good for farming blueprints at the time, so don't judge me. Now that I had a strongish Rex army, it's time to tame a Uranus. So I spent some time flying around the snowy mountain areas looking for a high level. All I found at first was a snow castle that didn't really have anything in it, but about halfway through the day I did find a level 140 and tamed it. I named him Fluff, and I even managed to lead an alpha Carnotaurus into the trap for some easy resources. Day 43 I made Fluff a saddle and leveled it up with some classic spawn killing. I then took Dovahkiin over to the Bifrost and cryoed him and went into Asgard just to realize I can't ride flyers there, except Desmodus.
Can you not fly here?
So after getting jumped by some raptors, I went back to the overworld and crafted more shotgun shells before flying out to the snow and taming a level 130 Daedon. And I also found some Fjordhawks on the way home, but I didn't really feel like taming them, so just kind of left. Day 44 and I did meat run after meat run where my Daedon slowly healed my Rexes. I looked at their health after each heal and it was only around 2000 HP each time. So only after like 5 Daedon feeds, I was ready to call it quits and go fight another boss. Day 45 and that boss is Haiti Skull, the two wolves, or Fenrir's. I don't really know what they are, but all I know is I have to take out the yellow one first because this has the least amount of health and does fire damage, and Rexes do not do well against fire damage. But as long as he doesn't do the fire attack, I think we should be completely fine.
Oh, he's there already. Oh, he's getting melted though. Okay, Skull's been defeated. Hey guys, fight the boss, not the little wolves. Wait, got the skull relic. It's the kitty relic. Did one of them get it?
Yeah, so Haiti didn't drop his relic. So that means I have to do this fight again, which isn't bad, but there is a 1 hour cooldown. So anyways, I went back to my base with just Fluff, grabbed 30 more runestones and my Dino, and came straight back to discover said 1 hour cooldown.
Right.
So anyways, I just pulled the classic sit there and wait for 45 minutes. So after waiting another 24 minutes, day 46, I fought Haiti Skull again. And guess what? I didn't get the relic. I only got skulls again. Yeah, it was a sad trek back to base. Day 47, I got my Rexes back to base and lined them up again. And later on, I started crafting polymer for a chemistry bench. I then killed some tech dinos too, and bam, chemistry bench. I then did a flint, wood, and stone run to start crafting a bunch of spark powder that would be later turned into gunpowder. And I finished the day off by going back to working on the castle walls, which also carried into day 48.
Oh my god, we gotta tame that.
Brontosaurus.
Yeah, boy. The fitness gram pacer, Ted.
Day 50, I tamed the Giga and it was absolutely garbage. But nevertheless, it's still a Giga and fun to decimate anything in sight, and that's all I did on day 50. Day 51, I decided I wanted a Maywing because they're very fast outside and in the water. And they don't have oxygen, so I don't really have to tame a fish. Anyways, I flew around the redwoods where they spawn.
What? There's a whole castle here. That was a bad voice crack. I didn't even know about this.
I found a level 130 and tamed a giant platypus, naming him Fish. I then used Fish to levitate out to a cave that I knew had Desmodus in it, but I only found one crappy one, but I still tamed it. And then I found myself at the lava cave on the volcano island, but it's literally hotter than pizza rolls when they first come out of the oven. So I went home to look for Gilly, but didn't find any, so I just grabbed my Rex to kill the nuisances while I looked for bats. And this was a very successful trip as I tamed a level 145 and 85. Day 52, I had to recraft my Viking forge and all my armor skins because I accidentally took it off the mod list. But after that, I crafted an industrial grill because I was tired of cooking my food out of a campfire. I then cryoed up 8 of my Rexes and took my Giga back to Asgard because it's time to fight Haiti Skull for the 3rd time. I got it. So now I could fight the dragon if I really wanted to, and don't worry, I will. And I will also have beef with him later. Anyways, I was tired of having 9,000 storage boxes, so I flew out to kill mantises for organic polymer to make vaults. I made 4 and then spent an incredible amount of time trying to line them up, and if I dropped it and it was not lined up perfectly, Day 54 is the start of the preparation for what I'll call the Great Migration. I went to the treasure cave to see if I could find any useful blueprints, but instead I was just disgusted by what I found.
Bruh.
So I just went on a metal run because I'm gonna need a lot very soon. I returned with the gathered metal on day 55 and raided beaver dams along with crafting a Bronto platform saddle and fur. And if you haven't pieced it together yet, I'm going to Jotunheim to fight Steinbjorn. As you know, Jotunheim is very cool and I don't have near enough good fur to survive it on my own, so I devised a plan. If you drink wyvern milk, it temporarily gives you insulating warmth for 5 minutes, and that's just enough to not freeze to death in Jotunheim. And it spoils in 30 minutes in your inventory, but 5 hours in a preserving bin. So I'm going to build a structure on the back of my Bronto I tamed with a bunch of air conditioners and a preserving bin and migrate it through Jotunheim to the Steinbjorn cave. I then have 30 minutes or whenever I run out of wyvern milk to uncryo all my Rexes, summon and kill Steinbjorn, then recryo all my Rexes and get back to my Bronto. So yeah, I just did that while explaining it. But that's fine because you can use all of day 58 to realize what just happened, because I spent all day walking back to base because I was on a freaking Bronto. Like, this is how fast it moves. I'll give you a 10-second demonstration so you can really get it. Day 59 started with hatching a baby Rex because I had lost one in the Steinbjorn fight, and well, it's also time to start hunting for artifacts and tributes. So I ventured my way into the lava cave that's just across the valley from my base and retrieved the clever and pack artifact. And it was probably the easiest thing I've ever done since I just flew through on my back. Lastly, I flew back out to the lava island to kill more mantises for polymer because I'm gonna need scuba very soon. Well, day 60 I have scuba and I'm swimming around the oceans on my Maywing hunting basilos either to kill or tame. I only need to tame one high level and then kill all the rest for their blubber. Luckily, I found a level 150 which I tamed, and then I levitated back to base to make a saddle for it, and then went back underwater to a cave out in the northwest for an artifact.
Whoa! Oh, no, no, swim, swim. Ah!
Day 61, I flew up to the swamp island with one of my Megatheriums and a Rex because there was a cave with an artifact I needed. The cave was super easy with 2 powerhouses running through it.
What's up? God, it is loud in here. Artifact's gotta be like right up there, right?
And the rest of the day was spent killing Thylas for their Thyla claws. The spawning location is so small that I haven't seen more than 2 at a time, so that's why it took a while. Day 62, I found myself in a huge cave that has a bunch of metal and turns out the dragon boss fight terminal. And I spent most of the day exploring it with my Rex because it was quite big. Remember that baby Rex I hatched? Yeah, he's full grown now. Anyways, I set out on my wyvern to start hunting Spinos for their sails when I spotted a unicorn.
Whoa, 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 wait, 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 that's a unicorn, that's a unicorn, that's a unicorn. Oh my god. We got crops.
So I flew back to the village I pillaged on like day 6 or something and took its crops to tame it. The unicorn wasn't really useful at all, it's just kind of cool to have since there's only one on the map. And for the remainder of the day I spent lowering the local Spino, Titanoboa, and Bronto population, all for their tributes. With these tributes I have enough for my first non-world boss, the Alpha Megapithecus. That's right, I'm not doing Gamma or Beta because
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
Anyways, I spent the rest of the day walking my Rexes from my base to the Megapithecus terminal in the Aberration Cave, and why I didn't use cryopods instead is beyond me. Day 65, it's boss fight time.
Wait. Oh! It's a different arena. Oh, he's getting melted though.
So yeah, that was surprisingly easy, but I guess the Megapithecus is the weakest boss out of the 3. And anyways, I made the long trek back to Hull. Psych, I stuck my Rexes in the Broodmother cave because it was on the way back to my base, and that's going to be what I fight next. But I still had to ride my UD back all alone. Now I set my sights on fighting the Broodmother, and I needed an artifact from the puzzle cave, and it wasn't that bad.
No! What? What is that noise? What the? Oh, I thought.
And later on, when I was killing Archies for their talons, I tamed an otter. Day 67 was a day for farming tributes, and staring at my Daedon's butt.
Is that its butthole?
Okay. Now, honestly, I spent most of day 68 force feeding my Rexes because it was faster to heal a few individuals like that than heal the whole group with the Daedon. And here are my Rexes stats, by the way, if you were wondering. But no more putting it off now. We fight the oversized Aurelio.
What is that one doing? Oh! That guy's on a side quest over there. Oh, 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 oh. Kill the boss.
Yeah, so that was a lot closer than I would have liked, but me and my Rexes get to live to see another day. And now I only have the one boss dragon to defeat before fighting the Alpha Fenrir. And I know I have zero chance beating that with my Rexes, so I decided to make a Deinonychus army. These little dudes only have about 5 HP when fully leveled, but the dragon likes to ignore them and go for bigger dinos like Rexes or the players. So I went on a search and found a level 145 dino egg, and it just happened to hatch as a male, so now I have a breeding pair. Day 70 through 72 I spent raising my new Deinonychus army as long as leveling them by executing younglings. Day 73 I had to get the artifact of the strong, and that was in a cave on the north side of the redwoods, and I didn't use Desmodus for it, and it was actually really fun. What I'm saying is this should not exist. Day 74 was also spent baby raising. Half of day 75 was also spent baby raising, but in the middle of the day I went splunking for another artifact I needed for the dragon fight. This one had an underwater entrance, but the actual cave wasn't underwater, if that makes sense.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
The cave wasn't much of a challenge, and the artifact room looked really cool again. Artifact and tribute gathering is now in full swing. I went to the volcano cave on the lava island for the next artifact in the morning of day 76. And later I went back to the ice cave where I got chased out by a dire bear because I thought I had the next artifact I needed. But nope, it was the wrong cave again, but I eventually did find the right cave. Day 77 I did random base stuff. Killing babies, meat runs, the usual.
Hey! Hey! We do not bark in this household.
Day 78 and there's no way around it. I have a lot of stuff to kill for their boss tributes. No, Kipper! Day 87 I had my Yudi, 4 Rexes to protect me, and a bunch of Dinos to attack the dragon. I planned on using whistle groups to keep my Rexes with me and the Dinos on the dragon, and how hard could that be? So with my Rexes biting the dragon was attacking back and hitting the Dinos as well.
Oh my god.
If it was just the Dinos on the dragon, he would ignore them and the Dinos would just get free hits. But that cycle continued itself until all the Dinos died, then the Rexes, then me.
Come here, you fat lizard.
Well, I now have 13 days until day 100, and there isn't anything to do but run it back. Day 97, I rounded up my troops and brought them to the Dragon Terminal once again. This time I planned to be on my Andrew Sarkis and have my Rexes always on passive unless things got really bad. I think my plan's foolproof. Rexes run with me and my Dinos kill the dragon.
No, get out.
Yeah, so I can't fight the Alpha Fenrir or the Fenrir period. And what do you do when you don't reach your goal? You kind of just sit there. Sometimes for days on end. And while I didn't fight the Alpha Fenrir and reach my goal, at least I still have Elton.
I tried so